Look at a map of the Middle East, and you will find a narrow strip of water. It sits between the country of Iran to the north and Oman and the United Arab Emirates to the south. This is the Strait of Hormuz. At its narrowest point, this passage is only about 39 kilometers wide. That is roughly 21 nautical miles. But do not let its small size fool you. This narrow channel connects the Persian Gulf to the open ocean. It is a massive global choke point. It is the only way out for ships leaving the Persian Gulf. Because of this, it is a vital lifeline for the entire planet. Every single day, roughly 20 to 30% of all the oil consumed in the world passes through this tiny strait. It is also the route for 20% of the world's liquefied natural gas. The oil and gas from Saudi Arabia, Iran, the UAE, Kuwait, and Iraq all travel through here to reach markets in Asia and Europe. If this strait closes, the world's energy supply stops and prices skyrocket. Today is April 8, 2026, and the world is holding its breath. For the past several weeks, the Strait of Hormuz has been a conflict zone. Since late February, following US and Israeli airstrikes on Iran, the strait was effectively closed. Commercial shipping traffic dropped by nearly 95%. The waters became a dangerous area filled with naval mines and drone attacks. Before today, Iran was only allowing very specific vessels from countries like India, China, and Pakistan to pass through. This blockade caused a massive global energy crisis. We saw record high oil prices, with Brent crude surging to $125 a barrel at the height of the conflict. But today, there is a glimmer of hope. Yesterday, April 7, the United States and Iran agreed to a temporary 2-week ceasefire. Starting today, Iran has guaranteed safe passage for ships. US President Donald Trump has announced that the United States will help manage a massive traffic jam of over 800 stranded ships waiting to cross. Because of this reopening, global oil prices have already dropped by about 16%. However, Iranian officials have stated that this transit must be coordinated with their military, and long-term peace depends on negotiations happening in Islamabad on April 10. While the whole world feels this crisis, the closing of the Strait of Hormuz is an absolute economic emergency for India. India relies heavily on this single waterway for its energy and trade. Let's look at fuel. Over half of India's crude oil imports come through this strait from places like Iraq and Saudi Arabia. When the strait was closed, ships had to sail all the way around the continent of Africa to reach India. This adds 15 to 20 days to the trip, costing massive amounts of extra money in fuel and insurance. Every time oil prices jump by $10, it hurts India's economic growth and raises inflation for everyone. But the oil shortage is only the beginning. India is facing a severe gas crisis. Nearly 90% of India's cooking gas, or LPG, comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Because the country does not have large backups of cooking gas, this created widespread panic. People rushed to book gas cylinders, with requests spiking by 38%. The government even had to step in, forcing people to wait at least 25 days between refills. At the same time, factories faced massive cuts. About 60% of the natural gas used for industries comes through this route, mostly from Qatar. This energy crisis quickly becomes a food crisis. India buys about 40% of its farming fertilizers from Middle East. Natural gas is the main ingredient used to make urea fertilizer. With gas prices skyrocketing, the cost to grow crops goes up. During planting season, this threatens the amount of food farmers can grow, leading to higher prices at the grocery store for daily essentials and cooking oils. Then there is the human cost. There are about 10 million Indians living and working in the Gulf region. They send back roughly $51 billion a year to their families. This money is crucial for the Indian economy. But during the conflict in early March, over 52,000 Indians had to be evacuated on special flights. If these workers cannot return, states like Kerala and Uttar Pradesh will deeply feel the loss of that income. Finally, all of this puts heavy pressure on the value of India's money. In late March, the Indian rupee dropped to record lows, hitting nearly 93.28 rupees for every US dollar. With the high cost of buying expensive oil, India risks losing billions of dollars from its economy, bringing back dark memories of the financial crisis the country faced in 1991. As the ships slowly begin to move through the Strait of Hormuz today, the world watches. The 14-day ceasefire gives everyone a moment to breathe, but the past few weeks have shown just how fragile our global connections really are.